things. So we're going to talk to her very soon. But before we do that, let's speak the business language for today. Hello, welcome back. We go straight to the equities market to look at the performance of the various equities that made some trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And if you can see, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index actually went up, but interestingly, technically, it's just showing down there, but it's supposed to be up. It was 5.29 points. But at the end of the day, it's still in negative territory because the bear's presence on the market is very huge, as we've been witnessing over the past couple of weeks. And on the side of the financial index, it is negative 1.39%. Now let's look at the various, the volume of shares that were traded today. That was 4.5 million shares traded, and it cost 5.6 million Ghana cedis, with a market capitalization at 63.7 billion Ghana cedis. Let's look at the equities that made some or witnessed price changes today, and that was mainly driven by Guinness Brewery, Guinness Brewery. It inched up by 18 pesos to close the day at 1 cedi 98 pesos, and it traded about 500,252 shares valued at 990,328,000.86 pesos. And then other equities that made some trade on the market were BOP 2,684, Cowbank 9,690, and then EGH 806, EGL 20,100, 3,273 by ETI. Farm Milk also did 497 and 605 by GCB, 3,208 by Gold, and then Almighty MTN was also at 3.9 million shares valued at 4.3 million Ghana cedis, and PBC 600 shares, 1,800 by Republic Bank, and Standard Chartered Bank 433 and SIC 1,000, and then Societe Generale 50 shares, and then Talo at 2 shares. So that's how the equity markets ended trading session today on the Ghana Stock Exchange. We're going for a short break. When we come back, we're going straight to talk to Rama Hanrata, and she's going to talk to us about the Art Castle, why she came up with that idea, and how that idea has caught on like wildfire, and is bringing happiness to home because children are excited to paint and to exhibit their creativity. And so that's the SME narrative. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Market Avenue. Today on SME Narrative, I have with me Rama Harunata. Rama, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
What do you have in this castle? Let me see. Very difficult to open, eh?
Okay, so this is one of our craft boxes.
Oh, okay.
And I brought it for you to work on. So
Hey, to work on?
Yes.
Let me see what is in there. Wow. And do some painting, eh?
yes.
Hey, Asamabo. Wow.
Okay.
So today is painting day. Wow. So I need to get my...
You have your easel
Whoa. Interesting.
and some paints.
Wow. So I can choose any color I
Any
want.
color.
Oh,
It's about
okay,
you bringing
okay.
out your creativity.
My creativity.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, this is the blue here. That'll be nice. No. All right. So that is what we're going to do today.
Yes.
Rama, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Great. So when we say the art castle, what is it about?
Okay, so with the Arts Castle, our main aim is to let kids bring out their creativity through arts and crafts. So we push for creative kids. Now we want to raise creative kids. And one of the main things we are bringing out is products to help parents raise creative kids.
Wow.
Yes.
But interesting. What is this? I'm thinking of we have our tablet, our phones, our children are glued to these phones and they'll be all over. How can you push them or motivate them to shift their attention from the phone to this?
Yeah. So I have kids as well. My kids love their tablets, but I limit them to the hours that they can have. I can't say I'm cutting out the tablets, no, but I limit the number of hours they use on their tablets. And apart from painting, we have other ways to engage children to be creative. Reading helps them become creative. Cooking, there's so many different avenues. So with the Arts Castle, we incorporate different forms of ways to make kids creative, using their hands, playing with Play-Doh, playing with sand. It's a combination of different
Wow.
things that kids are using that aspect of their brain to become creative.
Wow. Now, what motivated you? When did you start this, and what motivated you to venture in this area?
I would say I've always been a creative person. Growing up, my sister and I were really creative. We would stay in our room for hours, playing in our own little world. We created dolls, paper dolls. So we had a nice childhood being creative. So growing up, I knew when I have kids, I would want to push them in that direction as well.
Wow.
So when I had my kids, from a very young age, I started engaging them in arts and crafts. We would do different things. And then I'll put pictures on my social media pages and send them to some of my friends. And then they would encourage me and say, open this thing up, let people bring their kids, try and do it. Yeah, passionate about it, so open it up for everybody. So I thought about it, and in 2019, I started a small club where people will bring their kids every Saturday, and every week we had a different theme. I think we had donut making, we had t-shirt design, and different activities every weekend, and the kids loved it. So it was ongoing until almighty COVID hit, and we had to put a halt to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, and like I said, you put a halt to that.
Yeah.
You didn't go on social media trying to engage children through that platform?
So when COVID hit and we put an end to that, then the creation of our Art Castle boxes
Wow.
hit. So initially, I had a 9 to 5, so the Art Castle was just my hobby. So even the classes I was running, it was a part-time hobby. It was something I liked, so I just did it. But when COVID hit, I lost my job and the Art Castle became my full-time baby. So I had the time to really put my love into this. So that's how the Art Castle box was created during COVID. So it was a hit because parents were looking for things to do with their kids. And once we introduced the boxes, everybody wanted to get their hands on it so their kids could be creative, because the kids had been at home for so long, couldn't go out, they couldn't go to school, obviously. So it was really exciting for a lot of the parents to get their hands on this. And from there, we just saw the growth and how people were interested in this.
So to you, COVID is a blessing in disguise.
You know, I would say that. I would say I always look at the positives. So
Yes.
it was a blessing in disguise.
Wonderful. So how do you do it yourself, or you And even the patterns and everything, you do have to come out with ideas, and you tell someone to do it, or you do it yourself.
So I have a team of 4 people.
Okay.
There's a professional artist and myself. I like to draw.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
actually taking art classes to become better
Wow.
for myself at drawing, but we physically draw everything on it. So people tell us what they want. So let's say they want to get a box for their kids. They'll be like, my child likes Mickey Mouse, so please put a Mickey Mouse pattern on it. So then we'll do that and deliver it to them. And so far we've got good feedback. Of course, there's some bad feedback as well, but we always learn from everything that we go with.
Now, the issue of arts, in our part of the world, we know people are attracted, or so much attracted to art. So, inculcating these into children,
Yeah.
I would say is a plus. But how difficult or how easy it is?
I won't say it's difficult. So we look at the creative aspect of it. And creativity is not just about art. Art is an aspect of it. So even if you realize that your child doesn't like painting, there are other things your child can do. So for example, if you realize that your child likes to cook, get stuff for the child, and that the child starts playing and experimenting with different ingredients. So it's not just about arts, but it's incorporating little things in the home that can build a creative child. So yeah.
Wow. Talking about other things like cooking, in those days in the villages, you going for milk tins, and then you start cooking,
Yes.
on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that is great. So I read about your profile, and it was talking about the arts party.
Yeah.
What exactly happens at the
Okay.
art party? Because when I hear art party, perhaps I come to eat fufu and banku.
So with the art party, now a lot of people have seen how important it is to incorporate art into their kids' lives, and they like to open it up to other kids who come for the parties. So when they're having a party, they have a setup for arts
Oh,
and
okay.
crafts. So what we do is we have different packages where people can pick from. You can have a canvas painting party. So let's say your child has a theme, or you have a theme for your child's party. We would decorate the canvases and bring them, and the kids love it. You should see them rushing to the arts and craft table all the time. So there's that. We have t-shirts designing, where the kids have plain t-shirts and they do the designs. Most of the time we stand back and watch them, because we want them to bring out their creativity. So when the parents are there pushing, oh, don't paint out of the line, don't do this, we're like, Mommy, please leave them and let them express themselves, because it's a form of self-expression as well. Yeah.
Wow. So like this one, if I go, I do this, I'm not out of course, I'm within.
You are within.
Okay.
If you know Pablo Picasso, you know his work and you know how well he did. If people look at his drawing or his paintings and wonder,
What's he doing?
what's he doing? But you see eventually how
there's
he
a
came.
message out there.
Exactly. So when they are scribbling, leave them, especially the toddlers. I'm like, leave them. It's not just about the finished product, it's the process to get to that product. So when they are doing it, scribbling, they are working on their fine motor coordination. They are working on different aspects. They are building their confidence. So we leave them and let them play. People say, oh, they're making a mess. Create a space where it won't be messy. Put newspaper on the floor. Take them outside. Find an avenue where it will be conducive for the child to feel free and express his or herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in terms of color combination, are they, when they come to, you organize classes as well, isn't it?
I used
So
to.
so
yes.
you used to, okay.
Yes.
So if I know if the clouds ideally should be blue, and I go out there like this, but if you are running a class, do you teach them that okay, there are some things that need to be done this way, or just allow them
You
to
just
express
allow
themselves?
them. If the child wants the tree to be red, fair enough, there could be a red tree. Let the child express himself or herself how they feel like expressing themselves. We shouldn't limit them or put them in a box, and that is what we are used to, especially in our schools. We are used to a certain type of box we are in. And
Regimental way of
exactly,
teaching,
and we want to push
depart away from
from that.
Okay.
So if you see that the child is painting the tree blue, allow them to paint the tree blue. In the long run, when they grow up, you see the benefits of leaving them to do things a certain way.
Have you had the privilege to monitor any of these children that come through your hands and you see how they progress?
My own kids.
Wow.
Yeah, my own kids. It's not just about even the way they express themselves. You realize that when you expose them to certain things, reading books, playing with Play-Doh, going outside, playing outside, even being on the tablet a bit, all those things, it's a combination of a lot of things that push the kids and move them out of their comfort zone. But in the long run, you see the benefits of it. So I've seen the progress from when we started, when they were very little, till now. And when I look at them, I can tell that, okay, yes, we fought a bit. Sometimes they didn't want to do it. I'll be like, oh, just sit down and let's have some fun. But when you start playing, that's why I say learning through art, playing and putting different artistic things down, they enjoy it and you see the benefits eventually.
So do you sometimes engage maybe people are professional artists to come and interact with the children?
Yeah. So we have a program that we run in July. It's a vacation camp, that's what we call it. So it's usually for 2 weeks, but this year we might do 3 weeks because parents were pushing for that. So it's a creative space where the kids come every day. There are about 3 or 4 activities that the kids engage in. During those times, we have professionals who come in. So we've had, last year we had a professional who's a fashion designer, Bivena. She came and spoke to the kids. We had Iniedo come in to talk to the kids. We had different professionals in different fields that we knew would have an impact on the children. So they came in, and this year I plan to do the same thing. Call all the professionals that I feel will have an impact on the kids and see how well it will do. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So social media.
Yes.
COVID and social media. How social media? How have you been able to utilize social media to push these ideas? Because I'm looking, I know, like you said, the school system is a bit one way of, if I may use that word advisedly, but this is how we are able to unearth talents.
Yeah.
And those who become engineers, go into other fields, vocational training, technical schools, and all those things. How has social media helped you to be able to push the frontiers of the Art Castle?
I would say social media has been very, very instrumental in my business because I'd say about 80% of my clients came from social media, by word of mouth as well. But when we engage, and I try to be very intentional about what I put on my page. So yes, I have crafts boxes, I have things, my books and other things I have for kids, but I like to show parents other things they can do with their kids to keep them busy, to keep them to be creative. So it's become a community, very interactive. I have people who comment on my posts, we engage. It's beautiful to watch, and the growth has been really nice. When I started, we had in 2019, we had about 200 followers, but we've grown so much now, and we are still growing. We are still building that community.
How many now, the community members?
We are about 3,000
wow.
something here.
Fantastic. Now I see a book here.
Yes.
So what is this book about?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I can paint?
So this is for coloring. We have
Okay.
2 books actually. This is the Monuments of Ghana coloring book.
What exactly is about?
Okay, so it has 8 monuments around Ghana that the kids can color. So I put this together because with my kids, we realized that all our coloring books were foreign coloring books, and there might be other coloring books made by local people, but I never found any of them. So I decided to produce one.
Oh, okay. So this is mainly focusing on Ghana.
On Ghana.
What are
yes.
some of the monuments?
So we have the Elmina Castle. So with this,
Wow.
you can start the conversation with your kids with
And
this book and
explain what-
explain.
oh.
So when you go to Elmina Castle, they've already seen it in the coloring book.
Oh, wow.
So it has the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. If you're in Accra, just drive by and the kids will see it. Be like, oh, this is the
Kwame Nkrumah
Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, the Adomi Bridge. My kids loved this. When we went to Akosombo and they saw this, they recognized it. And yeah, we have the
Is
conference
AICC?
center. Yes.
Wow.
Then the National Theatre.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the Laribanga Mosque.
Lalbanga
yes.
Mosque. Oh, and then the
And then
Independence
yeah,
Arch.
the Independence Arch. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a coloring book for kids, but for you to start that conversation with your child as well about Ghana and some of our monuments.
Great. So we talking about the books. This one, what is it about?
So this one is an activity book on Africa. So it has, we picked different nationalities. We have Kojo from Ghana, someone from Kenya, Nigeria, and then Morocco. So the kids are supposed to color it.
Oh, Morocco, because that's how you school there.
Yes.
So what course did you do in Morocco?
Tourism.
You did tourism?
Yes, I've been in the hospitality industry all my life until last year, or 2 years ago actually, when I moved to Arts
What were you doing there?
So I've worked in different places. I worked in the airport for a bit for my national service. I worked with a company called Booking.com. So it was mainly the hotel industry, people traveling and booking through the platform. Yeah, that's what I did.
And you switch?
And then I switched. But this has always been
your passion.
my passion. There's a way that God brings you back to what you're destined to do. I feel like
I like that.
I've gone around and I've come to where I'm supposed to be. So I feel like I'm living my purpose. I'm fulfilling that purpose that God wants.
Is it the money or
not
the
necessarily?
passion?
Let me tell you, when I started, I remember I hosted a class and there were 4 children that came, including my kids 6. So there were only 4 kids, and I had bought so many things, brought them to the space. I was excited, and only 4 people showed up.
Wow.
I was so discouraged.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this get me down. My kids were there; they were excited. The 4 kids plus my kids who were there enjoyed it. So I was like, I'm going to keep pushing. So it doesn't come overnight. It takes time, but being patient as well and having passion for what you do really, really, really plays a role. Yeah.
Wow. I like that part. Like some of watching you and think that, okay, I also want to start something small like this. How difficult, how easy is it? So did you, in terms of starting this project, do you have to go and borrow money from the bank, or is it lesson that you have gathered yourself and then you started it?
So it's a combination of different things. With this, it was my brother-in-law who did the illustrations for me.
Oh, he's an artist.
So he's
too?
an artist.
Oh,
so
born into the arts community.
exactly.
Wow.
So he did the illustrations for me. Printing, I found printing is quite expensive, but I've been able to meet good people as well. My printer, he's quite understanding, so he's also able to print in small batches for me. I know it's cheaper when you print a lot, but when I look at it, when I started with this, I said, you know what, let's just print a little and let me see how well it will do. Then we can print, expand,
Yeah.
yes. So the little that you have can start something. I started with crayons and stuff for my kids that I used. So I didn't necessarily have to get a whole lot of money to start the art classes. The little that we had at home, I'll bring it together, buy paper, colored paper, glue, scissors, and with that we'll just sit, cut, join. Children love these things, so you can use very little to push them. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. You know, hearing your name, Rama Harunata.
Yeah.
Someone asking, is that the daughter of Harunata, the famous journalist?
Yes, that's my dad.
Wow.
Yes, and he's been very instrumental in my development as well.
Wow.
So he's an artist. He doesn't practice. I've been pushing him to draw, but he's an artist, and it comes through when he writes.
Wow.
He writes very well.
Fantastic,
so
yeah.
You can see the creativity coming out of all his editorials and every time he writes.
Wow. Great, Rama. I think one time we need to host you again after your July program.
Yes.
It's great having you in the studio.
Thank you.
We have this platform mainly for SMEs every Tuesday on Market Avenue.
Great.
So you can share with your colleagues, let them get on board so that we let Ghanaians know that, look here, you can start something on your own and create jobs for others.
Yeah.
How many people have you engaged so far?
Oof. Been lost track. So many.
So many.
Yes.
Good. Fantastic. So she started with just crayons in the house, but today we're here talking about the art castle. My name is Edward Nyako. God willing, we'll come your way again tomorrow. Shalom. Bye.
Focus. Every Wednesday at 9:05 a.m. live on GBC News, Unique 95.7, and all GBC regional stations.